Heartland Season 19. Episode 3 picks up in the emotional wreckage Amy left behind. Lindy's eyes said it all. Betrayal, confusion, heartbreak. Her mother, the one person she trusted unconditionally, kept secrets. Amy thought hiding her feelings for Nathan would protect her daughter, but instead, it destroyed something far more sacred. Honesty. The kiss Amy shared with Nathan, witnessed by Lindy, wasn't just about romance. It was a crack in Lindy's fragile world. And now, in this episode, we're no longer asking if Lindy is hurt. We're asking how deeply. Nathan, meanwhile, stands in the middle of this storm, guilt he never asked for weighing on his chest. He didn't mean to be the villain in Lindy's eyes. In fact, he tried, truly tried, to step carefully. Yet, every step he takes toward Amy seems to push Lindy further into fear. He's caught between love and innocence, between Amy's heart and Lindy's tears. And the worst part? He can't fix it. He can't say the words Amy refuses to. This is the episode where Nathan begins to realize that loving Amy might demand a sacrifice he never expected. Walking away. Amy, on the other hand, is entering dangerous territory. She believes time can heal this, that eventually Lindy will understand. But episode 3 proves she has underestimated her daughter. Lindy isn't angry because her mother moved on. She's heartbroken because her mother hid it. The difference is massive, and Amy, so focused on managing her own emotions, forgets that children sense truth faster than adults speak it. This mistake will haunt her, because episode 3 forces Amy to confront a terrifying question. Is she losing her daughter's trust forever? This episode shifts the narrative. No more soft glances and hopeful new beginnings. We are entering confrontation, raw, unavoidable, and painful. Lindy refuses to pretend. She doesn't want Nathan in her home. She doesn't want explanations. She wants honesty. She wants her voice heard. For the first time, Amy faces the hardest challenge of motherhood, respecting the pain she caused. And believe me, this is the side of Amy we rarely see. The one trembling under her own guilt. And Lindy? Poor Lindy. She is not throwing tantrums. She is quietly breaking. She wonders, if Mom can lie about this, what else will she hide? That question haunts every scene where Lindy looks at Amy and refuses to speak. Silence becomes her weapon, and it hurts Amy more than any argument ever could. This is not just drama. This is emotional warfare, and Amy lit the spark. Meanwhile, Heartland fans are torn apart. Some defend Amy, saying she deserves happiness, but others, perhaps most, are furious. They believe Amy didn't just move on too soon, she moved on without care. They stand with Lindy. They feel Nathan's shame. Because every heartbeat in episode 3 echoes one question. Can love still survive when trust is already broken? And the painful truth is, maybe it can't. Not this time. Episode 3 is the moment everything begins to unravel. The Fleming family dinner, already poisoned by secrets. Nathan's role, uncertain. And Amy's image, dangerously close to crumbling. This episode doesn't promise healing, it threatens heartbreak. And when Heartland does heartbreak, it cuts deeper than we're ready for. Nathan has always been the quiet fighter, the man who carries his wounds in silence. But in episode 3, that silence becomes unbearable. After what happened with Lindy, Nathan realizes something brutal. No matter how pure his intentions are, he may forever be seen as the intruder who entered a fragile home. He didn't just walk into Amy's life, he unknowingly walked into Lindy's grief. And now, every glance from Lindy feels like an accusation he cannot answer. He cannot say, "I never meant to hurt you," because this pain isn't about words. It's about timing. And timing, sadly, was never on his side. Nathan begins pulling back, not in anger, but in guilt. He questions every choice. Should he have waited? Should he have left Amy alone? Should he give up completely? This is the episode where we see Nathan face an impossible decision. Stay and risk being the wedge between mother and daughter, or walk away and break his own heart in order to protect theirs. And the tragedy? Amy hasn't even noticed how much he is bleeding inside. She's so busy defending her actions, she doesn't see the man who is quietly falling apart just to avoid causing her more pain. Meanwhile, Amy is on the verge of losing control. For the first time in a very long time, she is no longer the hero of the story. She is the cause of it. And she hates that. Amy tries to reason with Lindy, tries to explain, "I didn't want to hide anything from you." But those words mean nothing when the damage is already done. Lindy doesn't want explanations. She wants accountability. She wants her mother to simply admit, "I made a mistake." But Amy fights it. She tries to protect herself with reasoning, not realizing that motherhood is sometimes about surrender, not defense. The dinner table becomes a war zone of unspoken resentment. Lindy refuses to look at Nathan, refuses to speak to Amy. Every second of silence screams louder than any outburst ever could. Amy, desperate, suggests making things right, perhaps a picnic or outing with Nathan, trying to gently reintroduce him. But Lindy's answer is a firm, cold no. And for the first time, Amy hears it, not as childish stubbornness, but as emotional truth. Her daughter is not ready, and Amy is the reason why. This is where tension spreads beyond just Amy and Nathan, because Caleb steps in. Yes, Caleb, who has seen Amy through every heartbreak, begins to question Nathan's presence. Not because he dislikes him, but because he sees Lindy slipping into a darkness she doesn't understand. Caleb cares for Amy deeply, but he is first a protector of that little girl who lost her father. And in episode 3, Caleb will confront Nathan, not with threats, but with a warning. She's been hurt before. Don't be the reason she breaks again. That conversation will shake Nathan. It confirms his worst fear, that his love, no matter how honest, might be a danger to Lindy's healing. And Nathan, being who he is, would rather disappear than cause harm. This is when we see him step back from Amy emotionally, giving her space, even if it destroys him. And Amy notices. She begins to sense Nathan pulling away, and panic creeps in. She wanted to protect Lindy without losing Nathan. But that balance is falling apart. And let's talk about the fans. Viewers are already divided. Some scream that Nathan should walk away. Others believe Amy has finally gone too far. But nearly all agree on one thing. Lindy must come first. And if Amy doesn't realize that soon, she may lose more than just a romance. She may lose her daughter's respect forever. Episode 3 forces Amy to confront the hardest truth a parent can face. Love isn't enough if it leaves a scar. She must choose, fight for Nathan or fight for Lindy. But can she save both? Or is she already too late? Because here's the chilling reality. Sometimes, once trust is broken, it doesn't come back. Lindy's heartbreak doesn't explode in anger. It sinks into silence. And that silence in episode 3 becomes more terrifying than any outburst she could have had. She isn't yelling, she isn't crying anymore. She's shutting down. She stops asking about dinner, stops laughing at Grandpa Jack's stories, stops running to her mother's arms. And that's when Amy finally understands the depth of her mistake. This isn't just a bad day. This is the beginning of emotional distance. Lindy is building a wall, and Amy is on the outside. The pain isn't loud. It's quiet. Lindy goes about her morning without a single word to Amy. She avoids eye contact, avoids sitting next to her. She even chooses Lou over her own mother at breakfast. And that's when Lou starts paying attention. Lou may be stern, she may be controlling at times, but one thing is undeniable. She knows when something is wrong. She sees Lindy's forced composure. She sees Amy's guilt. And that's when she steps in, not as a sister, but as a mother who knows what it means to lose her child's trust. Lou confronts Amy privately, demanding the truth. "What did you do?" Because this isn't Lindy just being moody. Amy, defensive and exhausted, tries to justify herself. "I didn't want to hurt her." But Lou doesn't soften. She fires back. Intentions don't matter when a child feels betrayed. And there it is. The harsh truth Amy didn't want to hear. She had reasons, she had fears, but she forgot the simplest rule of all. Children deserve honesty. And hiding a new relationship, that was dishonesty, no matter how gently she sugarcoats it. Meanwhile, Nathan remains painfully distant, giving Amy and Lindy space. He barely visits, and when he does, it's brief. He speaks softly, avoids direct confrontation, and respects the silence. But Lindy sees his hesitance as guilt. She starts to believe Nathan is ashamed, that he knows he shouldn't be there, and perhaps that's exactly what he is thinking. Nathan is torn. If he stays, he risks widening the wound. If he leaves, he loses everything. But he is prepared to make the choice Amy refuses to. He is ready to sacrifice his happiness for Lindy's healing. And then comes the unexpected storm. Lou versus Nathan's sister. The scandal that was simmering finally boils over. Nathan's sister gets caught mishandling clients again. Lou catches her again. But this time, Lou doesn't stay quiet. She calls her out in front of others, declaring, "This isn't a mistake. This is a pattern," and that sends a ripple straight into Amy and Nathan's situation. Heartland is no longer just dealing with heartbreak. It's dealing with betrayal on every front. Why does this matter? Because Lindy witnesses it all. She sees how lies, even small ones, create chaos. She sees how dishonesty breaks families. And though she is young, she understands one painful truth. Her mother lied to her. And that's the moment Lindy's pain turns into something far more dangerous: resentment. Amy tries again to reach her, offering a picnic, a day with games, an attempt to introduce Nathan gently, but Lindy refuses. "I don't want him there." It's short, sharp, and final. Amy freezes. Because this time, she can't argue. She has no defense. She caused this. And now, she must choose. Force Nathan into Lindy's life, or step back and fight to rebuild her daughter's trust first. And this is where fans are shaken, because Heartland, a show built on healing, is now showing us something darker. Survival. A child trying to survive emotional betrayal. A man trying not to become the villain. And a mother trying to hold love in both hands without dropping one. But this episode makes one thing painfully clear. Amy cannot save both. Someone is going to walk away. There comes a moment in every season of Heartland when someone speaks the hard truth no one else dares to say, and in episode 3, that someone is Caleb. He steps into the storm Amy created, not to judge, but to protect, not to confront Amy, but Nathan. Caleb knows Amy inside and out. He has seen her rise, fall, break, heal, and now he fears she may not even realize she is about to lose the one person who needs her most, Lindy. So, he approaches Nathan, not with anger, but with brutal honesty. Caleb doesn't yell. He doesn't accuse. Instead, he asks one question that slices deeper than any insult could. Are you ready to love her without being chosen back? He's talking about Lindy, because Amy's choice may be romantic, but Lindy's choice will be survival. Caleb warns Nathan that love in Heartland isn't about grand gestures, it's about sacrifice. And if Nathan truly loves Amy, he must be willing to let her go if it means Lindy heals. Nathan listens, silent, but shattered. Because in that moment, he realizes something. He may be the man Amy wants, but he is not the man Lindy needs. Meanwhile, Amy feels the world shifting beneath her feet. She senses Nathan withdrawing, senses Lindy closing off, senses Lou watching her with silent judgment. For the first time, Amy is alone in a house full of people. Jack stays quiet, refusing to take sides. Lou steps back, giving Amy space to face herself. And Lindy? Lindy doesn't argue, doesn't scream. She simply stops asking for Amy. And that cuts deeper than any confrontation ever could. Amy tries to fix things the only way she knows how. Action. She plans a calm outing, a peaceful gesture, something simple. A picnic. A setting where Nathan and Lindy can meet gently, without pressure, without surprise. But what Amy doesn't understand yet is that Lindy is not afraid of Nathan. She is afraid of losing Amy. She's afraid that every new love in her mother's life will take a piece of her away. And unless Amy addresses that fear, nothing else matters. And then, there is Nathan, standing alone, replaying every moment with Amy, every smile, every touch, every promise. But now, every memory carries a question. Is my presence healing her or hurting her? That is when Nathan begins to make his choice, the one no one asked for, the one he never wanted. He considers walking away, not because he doesn't love Amy, but because he loves her enough to let her stay whole with her daughter. And here lies the cruel twist. Amy still thinks she can fix it all. She believes a conversation with Lindy, a moment of vulnerability, will be enough. But motherhood isn't a speech, it's proof. Lindy doesn't want words. She wants change. She wants to see Amy put her first, truly first. But Amy is tangled between being a woman in love and a mother in pain. And this episode forces her to see one truth she's always avoided. You cannot build a new love on top of a child's fresh wounds. Meanwhile, Lou faces her own storm with Nathan's sister. And that clash is more important than it seems. Because through that fight, Lindy sees something powerful. Lou choosing what is right over what is comfortable. Lou choosing integrity over peace. Something Amy in that moment failed to do. It's harsh, but real. And children feel that. They know when someone is brave. And they know when someone is afraid. Episode 3 reaches a point where emotions are no longer whispers. They become ultimatums. Everything Amy tried to keep balanced finally crashes in a single, undeniable moment. Lindy speaks. After days of silence, after cold glances and unanswered questions, Lindy finally breaks. Not in rage, but in heartbreak. She asks the one question that destroys Amy. If you have him, do you still need me? Amy freezes. Time stops. Because that is the truth buried beneath all of Lindy's pain. She is not just jealous, not just upset. She is afraid. Afraid that every new love in Amy's life takes her further away. That one day, Amy will choose someone else over her. This question shatters Amy. For the first time, she stops defending herself. She doesn't give reasons, doesn't explain, doesn't expect forgiveness. She realizes this isn't about Nathan. It never was. This is about abandonment. Lindy's fear of losing the last parent she has left. And suddenly, Amy sees herself not as a woman in love, but as a mother who lost her way. Nathan arrives, expecting a peaceful conversation, perhaps even a small chance to rebuild. But what he walks into is chaos. Silent, aching chaos. He watches Amy crumble, watches Lindy turn away, and understands his role in this story with painful clarity. He is not the healer here. He is the wound, no matter how accidental. And that is when he makes his silent choice. He steps back, not out of pride, but out of love. He quietly tells Amy, "I'll give you space." But she hears what he truly means. "I'm ready to walk away." And that terrifies her, because Amy believed she could fix everything without losing anything. But now she realizes she may lose both. Lindy's trust, Nathan's heart. Destiny doesn't wait for our convenience. Jack, the quiet guardian of Heartland, finally steps in. He doesn't pick sides. Instead, he speaks to Amy the way only he can. Love isn't just about what you feel. It's about what you protect. Those words cut through every defense Amy has left, because she knows. She didn't protect Lindy. She protected herself from guilt. She believed hiding the truth would spare pain.